Sambonani. I see we have a full house today. Thank you for joining us, lastminute.com. We welcome our officials to our media briefing right now. We've got our Treasurer General, we have our National Chairperson, obviously we have our DSG, our SG, our Deputy President, and our CIC. I'm going to hand over to the Deputy President right now.
Hey gang, welcome to Mzansi USA News. Today I would like to do an analysis of Floyd Shivambu's resignation. As you all know, I've posted a video a few days ago that touches on the issue of Floyd's resignation. So what I'll do is that I'll play Floyd, interject when necessary, play Juju's response, the media's questions and answers. I would not bother playing that because for me it's neither here nor there. What is important is the analysis of the reasons why I think Floyd has resigned and why he's joining MK Party. Okay, let's go.
No, thank you very much, Commissar Lien, our national spokesperson, and the president of the EFF and commander-in-chief, the secretary general, DSG, national chairperson, the TG, and members of the media. Good afternoon. We've called this press conference as the officials of the EFF now so that we get an opportunity to publicly read out the letter which I sent yesterday to the President and Commander-in-Chief in terms of the politics of South Africa. I'm going to read the letter word per word so that there are no speculations in terms of the basis upon which we are communicating this particular decision. So the letter says, "Greetings, Comrade President. The chairperson of Ward 44, Johannesburg, has informed me that my membership of the EFF has lapsed. And I said, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards in Johannesburg region. I also request to resign my position as Member of Parliament and all positions in the EFF. I will only do so after receiving a go-ahead from the organization because it is the EFF that deployed me to Parliament. I cherish and appreciate the work that we collectively did in the EFF and building a formidable organization. I believe the aspirations and vision contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved. That the visions that are contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved, and that I believe so. That my non-renewal of EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence in the organization, but a revolutionary act that will allow progressive forces to unite and work towards the agenda for progressive and revolutionary change. I have never in my service of the organization acted outside its democratic and revolutionary decisions, discipline and practice. I have served with humility and discipline. I will never abandon the cause for economic emancipation and true freedom in our lifetime. I will never compromise my commitment to true emancipation, and I will never abandon my commitment to the Marxist, Leninist, ideological lenses and view and guide to action in my understanding of society. I will not do and say anything that will compromise the integrity of the organization that we have collectively founded. My sincere plea is that in its reflection of the decision that I have taken, The organization should also avoid mischaracterization of an otherwise revolutionary and disciplined decision to not renew membership of the EFF, and the request that I must be released from all areas that I'm deployed on behalf of the EFF. And then say that we have over the years played an important role in shaping the politics of South Africa and the continent, the African continent. We have all played our parts progressively, and I have no doubt that we will continue to do so in our respective different responsibilities. I firmly believe that political decisions should never be personalized and treated as betrayal of the cause and of individuals. I said, Comrade President, you are my brother and comrade, and will always cherish the contributions we made in our lives during the formation of the EFF, even prior to that. I wish the economic freedom fighters full prosperity and success, and wish that all the commissars and ground forces and public representatives and members of the EFF Students' Command will accept this very difficult decision that I have taken. The struggle and war for economic freedom will never be compromised by any individual decision. It has been ingrained in the hearts and minds of many people in South Africa and the entire African continent. Revolutionary regards and God bless, and the letter is signed off. And just to give clarity so that there is no speculation, I've decided not to renew the membership of the EFF because I will join and participate in Umkhonto Wesizwe party. I am not going to speak here in Winnie-Madikizela Mandela House as to what is the basis of that, because that will be tantamount to campaigning already for Umkhonto Wesizwe party. So I'm going to be actively involved in Umkhonto Wesizwe party and shape its direction and the politics that are obtaining today in South Africa. So that is to end the uncertainty or speculations that have been obtaining in terms of what is going to happen. There is no specific position that have been assigned to me. There is no commitment or any promise of deployment to parliament or to anything. It's a decision that I have taken, and I think and believe that it will add meaningful value to the progressive and revolutionary politics that must be pursued by all the progressive forces in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you've heard the reasons why Floyd is resigning the EFF is because he's going to be joining MK. Now, he obviously does not give the reasons. He leaves that for us as to why he's joining MK. He leaves that to us to speculate about. As a matter of fact, in his letter, if we read his letter of resignation, we get to a conclusion that, okay, there must be something that has happened between Julius and Floyd that may have resulted in Floyd making this decision. Up until he says something that is outside the letter after the signature to say he wants to stop a possible speculation by then indicating that he's joining MK. That to me is a door opening up, a ginormous door for speculating. Why? Well, you will hear shortly as I unpack the reasons why I believe, and I'll only unpack those reasons after Julius has given his responses. But I think if we simply focus on what we have heard so far, it seems as though Floyd Shivambu is leaving EFF, and the reason for leaving EFF is that he's joining MK. So if we link these together, then I obviously need to do an overall assessment, right? So let's then hear Juju's response, then I can do the assessment thereafter.
Thank you, DP. CIC, I'll hand over to you to say something.
Thank you very much, members of the media, the officials of the EFF. I stand before you to accept the decision of the Deputy President of the EFF, who has voluntarily resigned his positions and did not renew his membership. When he sent me a letter yesterday, I felt the same pain when I received the news of the passing away of my mother. Because Floyd, to me, is not just a comrade, he's a brother. And he will remain a brother even when he pursues his political career differently. We formed this organization together. And I've told him that resigning from the EFF is equal to resigning from himself, because this is his organization. The constitution of the EFF does not allow people to resign and join other political parties and come back to the party. But I've made this offer to Floyd, that the day you decide to come back, you are more than welcome, because you are not a member, you are a founder of this political party. So you are not our enemy, will never be your enemies. We'll continue to engage on different political and personal issues. Floyd is not the only one. Jimmy Manyi has also resigned to go and join MK. And there will be many others who are going to leave the EFF because they've got their loyalty and support to the Deputy President. So fighters on the ground should be prepared for more people to follow. And this should not serve as a point of collapse for the EFF. This is a testing moment. The organization that has lived beyond 10 years has never been through this testing moment. The EFF will have to pass this test or it will have to die. And we, as members and leaders of the EFF, will defend its life, will make sure it lives forever for generations to come. It is the responsibility of the provincial leaders, the regional leaders, and the branch leaders to consolidate the ground and strengthen the branches of the EFF. This is not the end. It's a beginning of a journey, because we've turned 10 years, and this is a new chapter for the EFF. So you can be rest assured that we are not going to be howling insult at each other. We are not going to be speaking bad about each other. Individuals make individual political decisions, and they will stand by those decisions. We all write our own individual history, and the Deputy President has decided to write his own history. And individuals will leave the organization, but the organization must still stand, because the organization must live beyond individuals. If it is an organization, it can't rely on the existence of individuals, including me as a person. If it happens one day, I die, the EFF will have to live beyond me, because the EFF has got its own founding manifesto, its own election manifesto. The EFF is well represented in Parliament and will continue to execute its responsibilities. We wish DP all of success. We know that wherever he's going to be of value. We have lost a valuable member as the EFF, but the show continues. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys have heard that Julius is wishing Floyd the success. What does that mean? That means Julius is wishing a political party that has already removed him from being number 3 in the country to being number 4, or relegated him to number 4, or rather relegated his political party to number 4. He wishes that party success. What does that mean? That means that party will grow bigger and bigger, if we are to take him at his words. Julius goes and tells us that he's already told Floyd that whilst the constitution of the EFF does not allow for members who leave the EFF to come back, he has already made an exception in this regard, thereby doing two things. One, giving us a clear indication that there's a great possibility that Floyd is a deployee there who is expected to come back. But not only that, that he as Julius is bigger than the constitution of the party, in that he can veto it as he just did over here, right? Now, there's few things here that I need to talk about. First and foremost, some of you would know about Patrick Sindane, former organizer of EFF, who joined Patriotic Alliance. You would know about Musa Novella. You would know about Vusi, who left during the scandal of the busing of people to the EFF's 10th anniversary. Now you've heard about Mzwanele Manyi, which Malema mentions over here. Now Goldrich Gadi is still in the EFF. Mpofu is still in the EFF, that is Dalin Mpofu, but not active in leadership, right? Now Floyd was apparently leading the EFF's team in the GNU negotiations. It is said that Floyd wanted to be part of the GNU, but not only Floyd, few other members of the EFF, that is Veronica Mente, and all of them wanted to be part of the GNU, but Juju did not want it to be so. Now, of course, these are assertions made by Samgela Maseko from SABC, so I'm simply quoting him here verbatim. It's important for me to state this so that you know that I'm not gossiping. As a matter of fact, Floyd was deployed in KZN, where the EFF did very badly during these last elections, where MK did very well in that province. I'm mentioning these things, you'll see the picture will come together just now. Their manifesto launch in Moses Mabhida Stadium was poorly attended, and Julius Malema spoke to this after the elections. The EFF dropped significantly in KZN in terms of how it did in 2019 to how it did in 2024. And Floyd was the deployee that was responsible, at least if you want to blame a portion for such a drop. Once again, Julius Malema spoke about this without necessarily attributing it to Floyd, but the assertions that are being made publicly like this could give an indication that the individual is being placed under pressure. Once again, according to Samgela Maseko of SABC, Marshall has raised up his hand to contest Floyd Shivambu in an upcoming EFF NPA, which is where they elect their leadership, which is now said that apart from the unhappiness that has been bothering Floyd for the longest time possible, this may have been the last straw that broke the camel's back. So Floyd then decided, instead of being humiliated publicly, to leave quietly. Now, of course, that's what the media would have us believe, because we do not have Floyd Shivambu disagreeing or agreeing with such vehemence in a public domain. The other thing is the control, command, leadership style of EFF, which is demonstrably visible in the assertions Malema just made in this video, where he said he has told Floyd that he's made an exception, thereby changing the constitution of the EFF to say he can come back if so desires. So it appears as though Malema is the bigger than life type of a character in the EFF, bigger than the EFF itself, bigger than its constitution. And therefore, he being a co-founder with Floyd of that political party, and he having had 2 terms running as a presidency, and Floyd being a degree more than a thermometer in that he's got 2 master's degrees, has his own aspirations that he desires to be president of that political party as a person who's got visions, ambitions, and dreams. it appears as though it may not be possible, seeing that there's only 2 years difference between himself and Julius. So they've been together for 15 years, and in that 15 years, Malema has been the president of the ANC Youth League, and Floyd was a spokesperson of that Youth League. Malema has been the president for 2 terms of EFF, and Floyd has been the deputy for those 2 full terms. So, once again, when journalists, not only Samkele Maseko, but I'm going to use Samkele here because you can easily reference him. He's from SABC. Once again, journalists are of the view that this history that I'm giving you would have put a lot of pressure on Floyd to feel a little bit hopeless in terms of achieving his vision, in terms of achieving his aspirations. Okay? The leadership style of Julius, of not wanting also to be part of the GNU, could have been problematic in more ways than one. Now remember, some time back, just before the elections, Julius is on record saying in an interview that he did that he would give EFF votes to the ANC, which again demonstrates the bigger than the political party type of a position. He will give the votes of the EFF to the ANC if the ANC were to appoint Floyd as a finance minister. Now, that somewhat brings a weight to Samkele Maseko's speculations that Floyd may be unhappy. Floyd may be wanting to be part of the GNU. Why would Juju be happy to make such a concession, save that he was trying to keep Floyd? I want you to dwell with me in reasoning here. Pay attention to the things that I'm saying because I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, so once again, that video may confirm the veracity of the claim that he wanted the party to be part of the GNU. That is Floyd, not Julius. So Julius was willing to say, look, because you are so important to the party, we are co-founders of this party, and I want you to stay here. It's important for me such that I will make such concessions even though I don't agree with the GNU concept, right? But now here's the problem. That does not answer the question why he joined MK, if that's the case, okay? Nor does it answer another question. Why was he allowed to use the platform to announce his resignation? Now, if you listened attentively, Floyd said in his resignation speech, he indicated that this should not be regarded as a vote of no confidence to the EFF's mandate. A statement that Juju clearly did not share the sentiment because Julius, when he delivered his own, he said, if he were to resign from the political party, he himself is Julius, that should be regarded, he being the founder of the party, that should be regarded as a betrayal, meaning Julius right now feels betrayed by Floyd. As a matter of fact, Juju goes further to indicate that when he heard the news, he likened it to him receiving the news of the death of his mother. You heard that, right? Okay, so here's the other thing. The cordiality in which this is announced is also surprising to me, right? Julius has said there is no space in the EFF for those who left the party to rejoin the party, at least not according to their constitution. But in this regard, he's making the exception. Why? Why is that exception being made? Because he gives the reason. He says because Floyd is a co-founder. Now, we may accept that for now, okay? Now, I want you to consider the fact that Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema are well known to have ascended into prominence in the ANC Youth League. At the time, Jacob Zuma was the president of that Youth League, of the ANC. Floyd and Julius were students or prodigies, this is my opinion, of Jacob Zuma. Even though in Parliament, they made the worst noise possible about Ngandla and paid back the money. Remember that? What happened in Parliament? Okay, I hope you guys don't have a short memory because this is very, very important to where I'm going. Do you guys remember the Zuma Must Fall campaign? Who led that campaign in Parliament? Very important. Let me show you something.
Shivambu, take your seat, let him respond.
Let me assure you that I'm not going to withdraw truth here. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
It's never going to happen. I'm not going to withdraw the truth that the Gupta family working with Jacob Zuma have appointed Zwane and have appointed Van Rooyen. It's a matter of fact. I can't withdraw that particular reality. And it's a reality that we are living under a growing dictatorship of Jacob Zuma. It's a fact. Who's seeking to enrich himself and his family? There is no need to withdraw that. I will never withdraw. It will never happen.
Yeah, honorable member.
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear what Floyd said there regarding Jacob Zuma? Now, this is not even 10th of the videos that are available online where Floyd spoke and opposed Jacob Zuma vehemently. Okay? As I said, I'm going somewhere with this, right? There's few things that to me as an individual do not make sense here. One of them is Malema's demeanor. That's why you have the clip that you have in front of you right now on this resignation. The resignation, the way in which it was done, it appears to me there is a deliberate intention from Malema to rebuke his comrades, to say, you will not treat Floyd the same way you treated everybody else who left the EFF. You will treat him with respect, right? Even after he has left, you will treat him the same way you treated him whilst he was in the EFF, because we wish him the best to go and do whatever that is he's supposed to do and prosper in his deeds wherever he's going. I'm going somewhere with this, right? That to me sounds like nothing but a deployment of Floyd to a political party that is considered by both Malema and Floyd as their enemy, to destroy it from within. The same way the ANC did with COPE, where they deployed Sam Shilowa as a co-founder with Terali Gota to destroy COPE from within. The rest is history. You saw the fights that were never ceasing between Mbazima Shilowa and Ligota. And again, for me, I'm not saying this because of hindsight, such that I didn't have a YouTube channel when this was going down. It was clear to me as daylight. And by the way, Mashele, who is a political analyst, is on record saying Julius Malema is fully aware of how the ANC destroyed COPE because he was in the meetings that strategized about how to destroy COPE. Julius Mashele said this in the State of the Nation about 8 months or so ago. So now, because I don't suffer from memory problems and I'm analytical and very critical myself, I deposit these things in my mind and obviously withdraw them when a need arises. So when I look at Julius' demeanor yesterday, I can only, or rather day before yesterday, I can only come to one conclusion, that his performance during the delivery of his speech in reply to Floyd's resignation was an Oscar award-winning performance. Okay, that should not be celebrated by anybody who's in MK if they are smart. I'm going to show you, Julius, first and foremost, is able to regulate his mannerism. Many people were persuaded by, oh, he was so emotional. I was not moved by what I saw. Why? Listen to this and check this out.
Some of the people on that stage, are they also your close friends, personal friends?
There's no close friend or personal friend of mine. I'm the only child with no parents. I don't know what a close friend is. Many of them I regarded as close friends sold me out. So I play nowhere close to that concept of a close friend. I came alone. I will live alone.
Did you guys hear what Julius just said here? He has no close friends. This is in court under oath. And his demeanor here is exactly the same as it was when he was talking about Floyd's departure. He is saying here in court, when it comes to the firearm discharge case, that he discharged, and the prosecutor is asking him that he discharge a firearm in the midst of close friends which were in the podium with him. That would have included Floyd. Julius is saying here, if we are to believe him under oath, He has no such a thing as a close friend. Why? He came here alone. Many people whom he would regard as close friends have sold him out. Whether Floyd is part of this selling out of Julius, it's immaterial. One thing that is clear, Floyd is part of this group that Julius does not regard as close friends, which then therefore makes his assertion 2 days ago nothing but a performance to say that when he had the news, received the letter of Floyd's departure, he likened it to the news of the death of his mother. Okay? Observe his posture. The boy can act. He is a very good actor. Hence, I'm calling this an award, an Oscar winning, or at least he should receive a nomination for it. Okay? Now, in this one, he's into it with Floyd. I'm quite convinced about it. Okay, let's move on. Now, I want to play this clip for you to get an insight into the reality of Floyd's understanding of what the EFF means to him and who the EFF is. Okay? Pay attention.
Now, comrades, here's one thing which all of us must appreciate in terms of our understanding that we must never ever compromise the unity and the coherence, the strength of the organization, because it is the only fighting tool in the hands of black people, not only in South Africa, but in the entire African continent and diaspora. There's never been a revolutionary, militant, fearless organization than the EFF, which is relentlessly and fearlessly fighting for black people's liberation. Why? Because everywhere black people are found are a lesser race, was still treated with disdain. We do not have control of our own economies. We do not have control of our own land. If the world economy is worth 100 rands, black people do not even account for 1 rand of that global economy. We are still suppliers of cheap and easily disposable labor. And every time we say, do you want the land? You say, no, I don't want the land, I want a job. You want to continue to be the slaves of the white capitalist establishment. Even the philosophy of the current government is to say, let us go and look for white people to come and invest, to employ us as slaves. Because when Ramaphosa is going around saying he's looking for investments, he's not going to speak to black people out there in the world. He is there to look for whites to come and enslave us further. We don't have our land. We don't have our land, and that is one issue that we must look into. 7 years into existence, the EFF is making strides in terms of the land question. Let us continue to build the organization even during these difficult times of COVID-19 lockdowns. Let us continue to reproduce ourselves ideologically and politically. The task of every ground force of the EFF, the task of every revolutionary ground force, of every member, every leader of the EFF is ideological and political reproduction. We must reproduce ourselves. We do not want barren fighters and commissars. We want fighters that are going to reproduce themselves so that we can illustrate to the entire world that black people can emancipate themselves. And we can only do so once we've got access to the land. When we speak later on about...
Did you hear Floyd's view of the EFF? That the EFF, in its model, is the only political party that can be used as a vehicle to emancipate black people for all the 4 corners of the world, not just South Africa. Everywhere black people are, according to Floyd, they literally require the Marxist-Leninist lenses through which he and the rest of the EFF comrades look to the world. Did you hear that? They need to reproduce every commissar, every ground force, every single individual wherever they may be found. I don't want you to play this video so that I can demonstrate to you what does EFF mean to Floyd? What does the ideology? That is why Floyd said his resignation should not be seen as a vote of no confidence in the EFF, because he believes in the Leninist Marxist ideology, right? Even when asked by journalists a question, that he gave his answer in terms of what they signed on with MK in the so-called Progressive Caucus, right? Now, why is this important? This is important because you will see shortly there is no universe under which a Floyd Shivambu mindset can leave EFF for MK, except he is trying to make EFF out of MK or to destroy MK. This is very, very important. Now, let me show you another clip of Floyd. I want to now that I've showed you what Floyd thinks of EFF, I want to show you what Floyd thinks of Julius Malema. Before you can listen, remember now, I shared with you what different journalists says, but I use Samkele Maseko because most of them agree with him. Samkele Maseko as a person, as a contact point, right? I was not necessarily saying I agree with those views. I was sharing what the journalists are saying. Now, I want them to share with you what Floyd believes about Julius and what he thinks about Julius. Okay? Let's go to their 10th year anniversary.
Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General of the Economic Emancipation Movement, Commissar Poppy Mailula. My task is a simple task, but before I get to that task, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the more than 1 million members of the EFF, on behalf of all Africans here in South Africa, in the African continent, and in the African diaspora, to say thank you to the Commander-in-Chief and President of the EFF for having led us up to this far from 2013 with decisiveness. We say to Mushawi, President Selo Julius Lishole Malema, that we want to thank you for having led us with decisiveness, for having taken the courage to confront enemy forces. Many people had counted you out. You have sharpened all of us. When we met, me and you were 27 years old when we started working together, and I was 25 years. Throughout the 15 years, we have learned a lot from you. This organization and all of us who surround you will not be here if it was not because of your massive contribution, not just politically, but in our personal and career development as well. So we want to take this opportunity to say kwa kensa ikensile ngopu inkomu president ya ina EFF kani mamba rialebuha enkosi siyabulela siyabonga rialibuwa for having led us this far. This movement will not be here if it was not because of the decisive and clear leadership of the Commander-in-Chief and President of the EFF. As I said, fighters, my task is a straightforward task. Is to introduce to you today, for the keynote address, a revolutionary. I'm introducing to you the great Pan-Africanist. I'm introducing to you a visionary, a leader whom you can count in the same lines as Anton Lembede, as Robert Sobukwe, as Thomas Sankara, as Kwame Nkrumah, as Patrice Lumumba, as all the greatest leaders that dare to confront the colonial and apartheid system. I'm presenting to you the President and Commander-in-Chief of the economic emancipation movement. Comrade President.
Did you guys hear what I just heard? Now, I'm not an EFF member. All of you know that, those who listen to this channel. But listening to that, being the type of a person that I am, I had goosebumps when I listened to that when it happened. Guess what? Listening to it over again, making this video. This is the amount of respect Floyd has for, one, his leader. This is the amount of pedestal to which Floyd puts that leader. You understand that if you have a way of grasping it, then you are in a better position to understand why my thesis is. What you saw 2 days ago in the press conference is nothing but play acting, designed to do something, either destroy MK within, because both of them know fully well, as I've already alluded to what Mashele said 8 months or so ago, that Julius was part of the strategic plan to destroy COPE within. So they know very well how to actually do that. And they may have identified MK as their clear and present danger, which displaced them. And for me, that's the only universe and framework of thinking in which two individuals who are working like a house on fire in complementing one another, as these two have, nothing can get in between these individuals, right? Nevertheless, they will do whatever it takes to protect one another. We have seen this in so many instances. So what will bring them asunder right now? That the media has been saying, no, Julius this, Floyd's ambition this, blah, 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 blah. Floyd has always had those ambitions. But Floyd is more of an ideologue than being ambitious. Sometimes when we speak as individuals, we project ourselves to the situation. That's what I feel people like Samkele are doing, and the rest of the media. They are projecting themselves that as an objective individual, as ambitious as I am, this is what I would do in a given scenario. What they are failing to understand is that all ideologues all over the world, they are willing to wrap themselves with bombs and explode for the purpose of their cause. They are not in the same dimension of saying, I'm willing to push my own interest. No, they put the cause before their own interest. And that's how Floyd strikes me. Yes, he's educated, but that is secondary to the nature of the person that I see him as. Just in case you missed, tell me that this does not move you. Listen to this. Of course, I'm not a communist, okay? But listen to this. Listen to how he describes Julius Malema. To Floyd Shivambu, Julius Malema is second to no leader. Listen to the names that Floyd mentions, and mentions Julius' name in whose company is mentioning them. Sorry, mentioning him. Listen to this.
For the keynote address, a revolutionary, I'm introducing to you the great Pan-Africanist. I'm introducing to you a visionary, a leader whom you can count in the same lines as Anton Lembede, as Robert Sobukwe, as Thomas Sankara, as Kwame Nkrumah, as Patrice Lumumba, as all the greatest leaders that dare to confront the colonial and apartheid system. I'm presenting to you the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Emancipation Movement, Comrade President.
Guys, you have not heard any political leader being introduced like this. Well, at least I have not. I've listened to many political speeches. These two boys are much younger than myself, both of them, Floyd and Julius. I've listened to many political speeches. I have not heard Nelson Mandela introducing the longest serving president, Oliver Tambo, like this. I have not heard Thabo Mbeki introducing Nelson Mandela like this. I have not heard any of the leaders of the African National Congress introducing each other like this, okay? I have not had anybody introducing Julius Nyerere like this, okay? So this is very, very important. I'm saying this I'm saying all of this to say this. I personally have considered that Floyd's reasons that were given for his leaving, for me, do not gel. They don't make sense. There is an interview that was done by one of our stations where they interviewed a lady from Swatini, who is an EFF member, and somebody from Zimbabwe, who's an EFF member, EFF in their respective countries. And they were being asked to give an opinion about Floyd's departure. What struck me is that the lady from Eswatini made a statement of something that I had written down in my own notes in preparation for this video, that they did not join a Floyd Shivambu. They joined the ideology of the EFF. Okay? And by the way, for you to think that the move by Floyd is destroying EFF, you must think that Floyd is no longer an ideologue. He divorced himself from the ideology. Why? The ideology that Floyd stands for, he got that from Fidel Castro, from Thomas Sankara, from Frantz Fanon, as they interpret the works of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. Okay? That's why he is an ideologue. Now, contrary to that, before I get to the contrariness, you'll hear, therefore, Floyd talks about Che Guevara, Thomas Sankara, Frantz Fanon. You'll hear those the same. You'll hear Julius the same. Okay? So this is what they bathe with. The Leninist and Marxism as interpreted by these individuals. This is the 1960s model that Fidel Castro, the commandant as they call him, or as he used to call himself, and he was fondly called by the Cubans, okay, in his former glory. This is what they eat. This is their daily bread. Contrast that with what MK is bringing on the table, where you have a political party that seeks to take us back to feudalism of the Middle Ages, of kings who must reign by reason of inheritance. Coming back to what I was saying, the lady from Swatini was saying exactly something that I wrote down. This is what I wrote down, that this is from feudalism, where you bring kings to reign. And that's what the EFF Eswatini is fighting against, the reign of a king. And that girl did say that in that interview with Adrian St-Pierre. And Floyd is very much alive to that. That this is what the MK party is bringing on the table, to send pregnant girls to Robben Island. I did the MK's manifesto in this platform. I did EFF's manifesto in this platform. They are worlds apart. Their ideology does not meet. You can ask anybody that understands politics or knows anything about politics. Do not listen to the media when they tell you that EFF and the MK party are the left. No, EFF is the left. They are into left politics. And the left politics is what I've just told you now, the Marxist-Leninist, as interpreted by the individuals to whom they aspire to be like. And I've mentioned those individuals. But a political party that seeks to talk about feudalism, as MK is doing, that party lacks ideology. Once you understand that, you'll understand why Floyd Shivambu's reasons for leaving EFF must be looked at differently than what they told the public. And that explains the entire discourse, the cordiality, them allowing him to use their platform to resign. Where have you seen that? And the very fact that Julius had to now give an Oscar-winning performance, all of that was meant to say to the EFF members, please do not, particularly the executive, please do not be hard on Floyd. We may not tell everybody what we are doing, but we know exactly what we are doing. That's why we are wishing him prosperity. That's why we are wishing him success in what he's going to do. Because the boy is going to make us proud, to the extent that I've even changed our constitution, that even though our constitution doesn't allow anybody who leaves this party to come back, in his case I've made an exception, because it's going to serve our interest. Bear everything that I've just told you in mind. and knowing how vengeful Jacob Zuma is, it's not lost to these two boys that how vengeful Jacob Zuma is. And they can see what he's trying to do. The very fact that he could recruit Floyd, and they took that as an opportunity to destroy MK from within. That's my view. MK thinks that they are destroying EFF, but they are about to be destroyed from within. That's my view. Of course, I could potentially be wrong here, in as much as those who think that MK is destroying EFF potentially could be wrong. But I'm sharing with you my opinion here, okay? That's my opinion. That's my view as to why Floyd Shivambu has resigned from the EFF. It is to serve a bigger purpose. It is to neutralize what they perceive to be an enemy. It is literally to bring them into their side or to completely annihilate MK. Either, remember how EFF was formed. It was formed on the infrastructure of the ANC. So they know exactly what they are doing. And as I've already indicated twice already in this video, that according to reliable sources, Julius, at least, if not both of them, was part of the meeting that planned the destruction of Cope from within. So they know exactly how to do that. And Zuma's appetite of trying to destroy them would have given them grounds to be able to do that by releasing Floyd. And obviously they had to make it believable. Okay, guys, that's my lot as far as this video is concerned. You tell me what you think down below. That's what I think. I think that Msholozi has made a mistake by accepting Floyd into EFF, and I know very well that Floyd would not have resigned EFF if Msholozi had not accepted. Okay, they met during the election campaign prior to the election date whilst they were campaigning. Floyd does say that in this very video, but I'm not going to play the whole video. You can play it for yourself, you'll hear it. Okay, let me love you and leave you. Tell me down below what you think. Of course, my views are my opinion, okay? It's not thus saith the Lord. It's very important for people. I'm giving you a public, in a public discourse, my opinion, so that you can tell me yours. We can agree to disagree, or we can disagree to agree, whichever way you want to look at it. Ciao, ciao, till the next video. Bye for now.